Yo, what's going on, guys? XD Gaming here. Welcome back to another vlog. Or this isn't really a vlog, but today I'm going to be telling you about the time that I went to surgery and basically couldn't find my mom, or I think it was my grandma at the time. Anyways, so this is a surgery. I'm pretty sure it was for my port. So if you don't know what a port is, I'll briefly explain. Here's where it is. And basically for chemo patients, they can't just like inject you through the IV because your veins in like your arm are not strong enough for that. So they put a little port inside your chest, which basically makes it so they can plug the IVs into, and the port goes right into your central line, which is like kind of next to your heart and stuff. So it's basically a really quicker way to get chemo than like injecting it through your arm. So that's why they put a port into your body, and then once you're done with chemo, they will take it out. So it's just a temporary thing, but I have to have it done. So anyways, all I remember is being down there, and then they ask you, they're like, did your family have any problems receiving general anesthesia? And it's like, obviously it's always no. But you know, they have to ask that 'cause sometimes someone could have trouble with anesthesia and then they could like flip out or something. So anyways, so if you've never had a surgery, you're basically sitting in this waiting room in your bed while everyone else watches you. At least that's how my experience was. I've never had a surgery outside of this hospital, but I've had 3 inside it so far. I've had one for my biopsy, which is basically they check to see what, they like take a little piece of the tumor out and see what kind of chemo it is. Cancer it is. Sorry, those words are too similar. And then I had my port, obviously, that I'm talking about right now, and then obviously my leg amputated. So I've had 3 surgeries so far, and then I'll have 4, probably 5 by the time I'm done with this. So, cause I'll have 2 different lung surgeries. Anyways, so you're sitting in this bed waiting, and like all your parents are with you and stuff. At least my mom was, obviously. She wouldn't leave me down there alone. And then they give you this like, it's a medicine to like calm you down, and they give you the medicine to calm you down, so you're just like a nice easy feeling. Some people have heard it actually makes them hyper, but that's like a bad reaction to it. Anyways, it makes me just feel so easy, so I don't have to worry about like, and get like tense before they have to give me anesthesia. So then when the surgery actually comes, and you're waiting there for like 45 minutes, it's dumb. They bring you down there too early. Anyways, they're just getting everything ready. So you get into the surgery room, and they make you get onto this metal table, and that's when my leg was still like attached, and it was hurting really bad. So it was really hard to scooch over to this metal table, but I ended up doing it. And then you lay down with your head straight up to the ceiling, and you see these huge metal lights and stuff. And then they put the mask on you, and they tell you to take deep breaths. And then you're out. You go out. Like, if you've ever seen like someone take anesthesia, they go out quick, which you probably haven't, but still. They go out really quickly, and you're out. Like, you don't have to worry about feeling anything or anything like that. You're not going to feel anything. They're trained doctors. They know how much to give you. You're going to be fine. Unless, like, I've heard people that just, like, take forever to wake up from it. I didn't, though. I did pretty good. So anyways, I wake up, and you wake up in a different room that you fell asleep, kinda, in. And it's a weird feeling, because you're like, where am I? You start, like, moving your head up, and then you're seeing, like, other beds next to you. Because they have just, like, a huge room that they, like, just put people in that have been under anesthesia, and you just sit in there for a while. And I finally wake up, and then, yeah, it was this time. I had a huge pain in my back. I don't know if I was, like, they had me sitting on something. I never really knew what it was, but it was probably from my port, just, like, getting it put in. It just put a huge pain on my back. So I just woke up, and I was like, ow, this hurts like heck, bro, it hurts. And you're just sitting there, and you have no idea where you're at, and then you see the nurse, and she's, like, checking everybody, and she's like, oh, we'll bring you up to your room in a minute. So you're like, alright. At this time, this was my second surgery, so I already knew what was gonna happen, so I wasn't, like, freaking out or anything. The first time, I was like, whoa, this is weird, because you're all alone. You don't know anybody there, obviously. You can't, like, you don't interact with anyone, you just sit there. And then, eventually, they have, at least, I don't know what it'd be like if you just went to, like, a normal hospital and had surgery and, like, went home, because I never went home. I went back up to my room. So they have, what's it called, patient transport, and they have this patient transport at the hospital that basically takes people everywhere, and that's what I had to get when my leg, was so bad, because I couldn't move anywhere. Now I can move on the crutches, so I don't have to have patient transport, which I like, because they take like an hour to get up to the room, I swear. But, you know, it's still nice. It's really nice to have that. Anyways, so they ended up taking me back up to my room, and I'm just sitting there like, ow, this hurts, you know, hitting the bumps that hurt. And the hospital's huge, so it takes like 5 minutes just to get back up to my room, and I'm just sitting there with my mask on, just like, for like a day, you feel like out of it, honestly, because of the anesthesia. Like, you're so tired and stuff. Anesthesia knocks you out. Anyway, so I get back up to the room, and my mom and grandma are still in the waiting room, because they never decided to tell my mom or grandma that I was done. My mom and grandma thought I was still, like, in surgery, waiting, like, getting surgery done. It was so dumb. And they just didn't decide to tell my mom and grandma. Wow. If you watch my last, if you've seen the vlog, it's a common occurrence for them not to tell people stuff. And I don't know why. They just have a bad communication system at the hospital, I guess. But they just don't, like, they always, I don't know. I think I've just had bad experiences, because I've heard a lot of people having great experiences there. So I guess I've just had some bad experiences. But anyways, they just forget to tell that my mom and grandma aren't there. So I'm sitting in my room alone, which I usually never do unless, like, my mom has to go, like, grab something. But I'm sitting in there alone, and I'm getting mad because, I'm getting mad and, like, a little worried, because I'm like, where's my mom at? Because, you know, I just got done with surgery. I want to see my mom, and I want to see my grandma and my, like, parents. And they're like, and then the nurse comes in, and I'm like, do you know where my mom is? And she's like, no. They legit told me no. And, like, they're, like, trying to, like, ask me, like, what, like, medicine I need or something, which, like, I don't keep track of. That's, like, my mom that keeps track of that. And they're, like, trying to ask me all these questions and stuff, and it's like, I don't know the answers to these questions. My mom does, and she's not here. And I kept asking, can you go find my mom? Can you go find my mom? Where's my mom? And they're just like, I don't know what was going through their heads, but they kind of just like ignored me at first. Like, they didn't even like process what I was trying to ask them. They were just too focused on like asking me like what I needed and stuff, because they had no idea where my mom was. They didn't realize that they didn't tell them down in the surgery room, so they were just like, they just figured, hey, she went out, maybe like went to get McDonald's or something. They didn't realize it. So I'm like, finally one person was talking to me. I'm like, can you call down the surgery and ask for my mom? And they're like, oh yeah, we should do that. So they eventually start calling down the surgery. But the thing was, that's when my mom comes up, and apparently my mom and grandma were like, hey, this is getting kind of long, because they said it'd be only like 15 minutes, and it went like 30 minutes went by. So they went up to the desk and asked them. They're like, hey, is Gabe done yet? And they're like, yeah, he got done 15 minutes ago. And they're like, what? Why didn't you tell us? So they eventually come back up to the room, and they were just like, they were all just like, why wouldn't they told us? Like, nurses, obviously, they have nothing to do with the surgery floor. They were so confused as well. They were like, whoa, that was weird. Why would they not tell you that your kid is done out of surgery in the waiting room? They just totally forgot that. So I almost had to freak out for a little bit there, because I was like, hey, I really, 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 really doubt my mom would leave while I'm getting surgery. Like, no, she wouldn't do that. And they just like figured she did, so it was weird. Yeah, anyways guys, that was this story. If you want to hear more hospital stories, I'd be glad to tell them. I just gotta remember some of them. But I'll be glad to do more videos like this if you guys want them. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.